The sun dipped low over the colorful hills surrounding Amitola Care Farm, casting a warm golden glow over the land. Every animal on the farm had a story. Some had arrived from far-off places, others were rescued, and a few were born right here. But Brodie, the little panda cow, knew that he was special in ways he couldn't quite understand yet. From the moment Brodie arrived at the farm, everyone fell in love with him. His soft black patches and bright white fur made him look like a living panda toy, and his gentle heart made him friends with almost every creature around. But Brodie always felt deep inside that something was missing, an adventure, a purpose he hadn't yet discovered. One evening, while Brodie was grazing near the ancient oak tree, something extraordinary happened. A flicker of silver light zipped past his nose, startling him. He followed the twinkling glow through the grass until he saw it clearly. A tiny fairy, no bigger than a butterfly, with wings that shimmered in the moonlight. The fairy grinned. "Hello, Brodie. My name is Pippa. I've been waiting for you." "Me?" Brodie asked, his wide, curious eyes blinking in disbelief. "Yes, you," Pippa said, sprinkling a dash of sparkles that tickled Brodie's nose. "Only a creature with a heart as pure as yours can unlock the Rainbow Gate. It's a portal to a magical world, but we have to find it before midnight." Brodie's tail swished with excitement. "What's a Rainbow Gate?" "It's a doorway to a world where animals can talk to stars, flowers can sing, and wishes become real. But there's a problem. It's hidden somewhere on the farm, and only the moonlight can show us the way." Brodie felt his heart swell. Could he really be part of such a grand adventure? He took a deep breath, nodded, and said, "I'll help you, Pippa." The sky turned darker, and the stars started twinkling overhead as Pippa guided Brodie toward the farm's pond, where the water sparkled like glass. "This is where we find the first clue," she whispered, fluttering beside him. As Brodie peered into the pond's surface, the reflection of the full moon began to change. It shimmered, then rearranged itself into the shape of a map, the outline of Amitola Care Farm, glowing with moonlight. A glowing path appeared, leading from the pond to the butterfly meadow and ending at a spot near the oak tree where Brodie had seen the fairy earlier. "This is the moonlight map," Pippa explained. "It only shows itself to those who believe in magic. We need to follow the path it shows us." Excited, Brodie trotted along the glowing trail, Pippa flying beside him. Along the way, they passed by some of Brodie's closest friends. Rumi the alpaca lifted his head from a patch of clover and asked, "Where are you off to, Brodie?" "We're on an adventure to find the Rainbow Gate," Brodie said proudly. Rumi's soft brown eyes twinkled. "Well, if you need any help, just call for me." Brodie and Pippa reached the butterfly meadow, where thousands of colorful butterflies rested among flowers that shimmered faintly in the moonlight. But as they approached, a strange hum filled the air. It was the sound of flowers singing. Each flower sang a different note, and they all swayed gently in the breeze. A soft voice whispered through the meadow, "If you want to pass, you must listen to our song." Brodie flicked his ears in confusion. "How do we understand what they're saying?" Pippa gave a giggle. "The flowers are giving us a riddle. We just have to figure out which flowers to follow." Brodie listened carefully. Among the chorus, he noticed that some flowers sang higher notes and others sang lower notes. Pippa buzzed around them, sprinkling tiny sparkles. "I think the high notes lead the way to the gate," she whispered. Brodie bravely stepped forward, following the melody of the higher-pitched flowers. As he walked, the flowers seemed to bow and let him pass, their song growing sweeter and more harmonious. "We're doing it, Pippa!" he cheered. After crossing the butterfly meadow, Brodie and Pippa arrived at the barn, where they were greeted by Willow the wise barn owl, perched high on a wooden beam. Willow's yellow eyes gleamed in the moonlight as she hooted softly. "Brodie," Willow said in her low, soothing voice, "you are getting close to the Rainbow Gate. But beware, for the gate tests not only your heart, but your courage too. There is a guardian near the gate, and only the bravest will pass." Brodie gulped, feeling a tiny knot of fear in his belly. A guardian? Yes, Willow said. But remember, courage isn't about being fearless. It's about doing what's right, even when you're afraid. Pippa gave Brodie an encouraging nudge. We've come so far. I believe in you. With a determined nod, Brodie thanked Willow and continued along the glowing path toward the ancient oak tree. As Brodie and Pippa neared the old oak tree, the air around them began to shimmer. A soft breeze blew through the leaves, and suddenly, a majestic silver fox appeared, standing guard beneath the tree's branches. "Who dares to seek the Rainbow Gate?" the fox asked, his voice deep but not unkind. Brodie took a step forward. "I am Brodie, the panda cow, and I believe in the magic of the gate." The fox's golden eyes sparkled. "And do you also believe in yourself, little one? For only those who trust their hearts may enter." Brodie felt a flicker of doubt, but then he remembered the words of his friends, Pippa's belief in him, Rumi's offer to help, and Willow's advice about courage. Taking a deep breath, Brodie nodded. "Yes, I believe in myself." The fox smiled and stepped aside. "Then you may pass. The Rainbow Gate awaits." Brodie and Pippa stood before the Rainbow Gate, a swirling portal of colors that shimmered like water in the moonlight. Pippa gave Brodie a proud look. "You did it, Brodie. Now, make a wish and step through the gate." Brodie closed his eyes, thinking of all the friends who had helped him along the way. "I wish for every creature on the farm to feel as loved and special as I do right now," he whispered. As soon as the words left his mouth, the gate glowed even brighter, and Brodie felt himself lifted into a warm, magical breeze. He and Pippa floated through the colors, surrounded by the sound of laughter, singing stars, and fluttering wings. When Brodie opened his eyes, he was back at Amitola Care Farm, standing beneath the old oak tree. The sun was rising, casting soft morning light over the fields. Pippa fluttered beside him, her wings still sparkling. "You did it, Brodie," she said. "And though the Rainbow Gate has closed, the magic will always stay with you." From that day on, Brodie felt a new kind of joy in his heart. He knew that believing in magic wasn't just about portals and adventures. It was about kindness, friendship, and trusting yourself, no matter how small you are. And so, every night before falling asleep, Brodie would look up at the stars and remember the magic of the Rainbow Gate. And as the animals of Amitola Care Farm curled up for the night, Brodie dreamed of new adventures, because with a heart like his, the magic never really ends.